to F1 2019 PS4 Global Series Tire 1 here today at this beautiful Sunday afternoon. My name is Allrounder Aston, or Widerbear Pride 22 as some may know, but of course I'm not here alone.
Yeah, my name is Racer X. I'll be in the commentary booth as well. Once again, alongside me also is BK. So XI, who also will be doing another pretty much another three-man commentary box tonight. So yeah, today we are going to be racing at the Sochi Autodrome and for the Russian Grand Prix. Of course, that's also held at the Olympic Park. Of course, this is also probably one of the most entertaining circuits, but pretty much easy to corner cut as well, so it should be some interesting racing going on.
Yeah, it should be a very interesting one tonight. We have a very, very spicy battle heating up at the head of the Drivers' Championship. I believe it's 3 points. 2 or 3 points is one of them, separating our top three drivers, Chain Game, Gaming Wafer, and Gaming Burger. Those three drivers have been fairly vocal throughout the entire season, really, about them not having the opportunities to battle each other on track. This time out, there's no qualifying bans, there's none of that. So hopefully tonight, for the first time, we can get a straight-up race between those three.
Yeah. And of course, this is also, as many of us know, this is the track king of the penalties. It's so easy to get time penalties on this, and in worst case, maybe some drivers could actually get disqualified. I've seen that before here.
And also, it's okay. Just to give you also clarification, this is all on my stream as well, just a little bit of clarification, but continue on, BK. Sorry to interrupt you.
Alright boys, so we're heading into this qualifying session now. Who do you think is going to get pole? What are your predictions for this qualifying session today?
I think Chang'e would take pole position, and then we will see, yeah, maybe Gaming Wafer at second, and I think I see OSR Lewis in third.
Okay.
Alright, Rachel, what about you?
I'm going to say for me, for this one, I'm going to go with Gaming Wafer actually being on pole, and then my guy that will finish be in second for qualifying, Gaming Burger, followed by Chain Game Wow.
You know what, Racer, this is a funny coincidence because my front three in qualifying are the exact same as yours, my friend.
Really?
I think Wafer, you know, he's gonna want to carry on his momentum from last week. You know, he's finally found some momentum, some positive momentum. He won his first race on track last week, and he's shown throughout this season that he's an incredibly strong qualifying, incredibly strong when it comes to qualifying sessions. And then I think Gaming Burger is gonna want to come second. You know, I think he's gonna be strong after what happened last week, and then Chain Game, you know. He's part 3 of our championship 3, and we can't count him out.
All right, so pretty much let's see. I think the first car that was out is Banana Cake.
Banana Cake Pie.
Yep. So I'm sure everyone that's watching us pretty much dropped in the Banana Cake Pie emojis. It's pretty much common here in RaceSpec as of recently. But
he's a cult hero.
Exactly. So let's give you a little tour of this place, shall we? The Sochi Autodrome. 3.6 miles, 18 corners, 6 to the left, 12 to the right, 2 DR rest zones out of the ends of corners 18 and 12. So we're going to the first couple of corners now. This is Banana Cake Pie going down the front stretch into turns 2 and 3. Of course, this bend you want to at least get a good clip off the apex. Now we go into the sleeping left-hander at turn 4, flat out. And then we go into the hard braking zone at turn 5. Now this area you want to mostly go a little bit wide so you can get a better turn in. Now we go into the end of the first sector into the second sector. This is turn 6 coming up now, and followed by a little bit more kinky right-handers of turns 7 and 8. Now, pretty much, this is the more tricky bit. This is the sweeping lefters, 10 turns of turns 9 and 10. Actually, the DR is out of 11. Pardon me. So this is now turn 11 coming up, and then we go into the second DRS zone. A lot of the DRS zones in this track are not very straight-ish. They just have a little bit of a turn as well. So now we're going to go into the hard braking zone of turn 13. This is before the bridge, followed by a little clip into the apex to turns 14 and 15. Then we go into the little bit of an uphill crest into turns 16 and 17, left-right-handers, followed by more right-hand turns of turns 18, 17 and 18, or yeah, 18, 19. I'm reading the track map wrong, I guess. But anyways, this is the last corner right here, and Banana Cake Pie sets a 132.4 to kick off the qualifying session.
Yeah, he goes pole at the moment with a 32.4, iconic Q now with a 32 flat. And, you know, seeing the early pace already, what do you think pole time could be tonight? We did see ACW get a 31.3 in the second tier. Could we see one of our faster drivers here breaking to the 1 minute 30s?
That is very possible. I remember in the the America series that I race in, the pole time for that was a 130.6. So it's a very high possibility for anyone of these drivers to actually reach into maybe even the 30s if possible.
Now I'm gonna try to look in the future, and I'm gonna guess the exact pole time. I think we'll see a 1:30.950. That's my exact guess.
Alright, as Iceman now coming over the line, he sets a 1:31.96 for the first driver today to break into the 1 minute 31s for the Racing Point team. 13 minutes to go, he's currently on pole, although only 8 drivers have set qualifying laps as Gaming Wafer, and I believe Chain Game as well, are about to come over the line. Chain Game goes fastest with a 31.7, and now Wafer, he goes even faster. It's a 1:31.3.
Straight off the bat, too. That was the first lap, too, on the soft stint, so that's a great lap to kick it off for his first lap.
Yeah, Game Burger's currently in the pits, so we'll have to wait a few more minutes to see exactly how he will react to his 2 championship rivals currently locking out the front row of the grid provisionally here in this qualifying session.
And something else that Brian talked about is the strategy at this track. Of course, it's a track with not so much tire wear, so it's soft, medium, or medium soft. I can say from that I haven't tested, but I got friends that have tested this strategy, and that if you're unlucky on lap 1 and started on soft, you can actually go to medium and just finish the race on those mediums.
I can confirm this is true because in the Tier 2 race just before, I had to pit on lap 2 after being caught up in an incident, switched to mediums, did 25 laps to the end, no worries. So pretty much for these drivers, would you want to start on the softs or start on the mediums today? Because like we said, you know, if you get caught up in an incident on the opening laps, you can pit for the mediums very early and take them to the end, where you wouldn't be able to do that on the soft tyres. So do you think that that factor could be playing on some of our drivers' minds this afternoon?
In my personal opinion, I would go to the softs because you want to have have good grip on the tires on the start, and then because these tires can carry to at least 10 laps, and then yeah, obviously in the mediums you can go for the rest of the way. I say just go to the softs as your starting tire, at least for the race.
Yeah, that's it exactly. As Gaming Burger, he is on an outlap at the moment, so we will have that highly anticipated response soon. As NBC Alcatraz leaving his qualifying prediction. I'm guessing it's qualifying prediction since we're in qualifying at the moment, but he's predicted himself on pole, Banana Cake Pie in second, and Very Lazy Towel to get P3. So it's a very out there prediction, but we'll see if predictions come true. What have you seen?
I am sorry to interrupt you there, but Chris just went completely wide there. He's gone wide in 2 corners out of turns 8 and 9. He had to clipped the outside wall as well. So that completely ruined, and he validated his lap as well, but he completely ruined his lap, and he's got his teammate behind him, Luis, as well. He better get out of the way as well, unless he wants to give him the toe.
It'll be some good toe.
If he can at least manage to do that, or at least be cooperative, but here we go.
There we go.
There you go. There he gets a toe, and also a purple second texture.
So we could see Lewis get a time that would put him on provisional pole. Obviously, Pariah did predict him to be third on the grid. So, you know, this is actually my first time witnessing OSRO Lewis live. So maybe that's one of the reasons why I didn't predict him to qualify as highly. So this is actually my first time being able to get the honour to watch him. As he comes over the line now, it's a 1:31.780. Enough for P3 at the moment.
300s behind it, Chengewa. Real close there.
Yeah, fairly close indeed. I think we have Carving Texas will be the next one too. He's got a purple second sector as well, so maybe he might get up there as well for the Ferrari. As long as he can clip those apexes of the final 4 turns, very sophisticatedly. Let's see what he does here. He's coming towards the final course now, 17.918. And pretty much clipping that apex very nice. Of course, you want to do that. Clip the apex, grab that outside curb as well. And he'll come across the line. 32.0 is his time. Only 6th fastest.
And now, to cut you off here, we've got Gaming Bergen now. Coming around the final corner. Is it enough for pole position? It is not. It's a 1:31.444. So right now, out of their Championship 3, they've all done 1 lap each. And it is advantage to the Gaming Wafer.
But you know what also cost him too is that he went completely wide at the final corner. That cost him a little bit of time as well. So I think he would have maybe got pole, maybe slightly closer than what he has right now, if he didn't make that mistake.
Yeah, that's it exactly. As trying to find, you know, sometimes we always have this problem that we try to find someone to ride on board with, but I am on board with NBC Alcatraz. It says here that he has gotten a purple second sector, so we'll continue sticking on board with him, as Banana Cake Pie in the meantime has actually improved up to 3rd, disrupting our Championship 3, but now sticking back with the Ferrari driver of NBC Alcatraz, our resident incident reporter, as that unfortunately is something he's had to do a lot lately. He comes across the line for a 1:32.154 in 9th place, 1 place behind his teammate, and maybe if he spent some more time this afternoon practicing for F1 instead of playing me on FIFA, maybe he'd be a little bit quicker today. But we'll see if he can improve in the next 7 minutes and 20 seconds.
That's quite a little bit of a shots fired there, I would have to say, from the commentary box.
Well, he beat me, so, you know.
Alright, well, next we got Dr. Dre. As well, I'm on board with him right now. I actually got the camera followed along with him. He looks like he can improve a little bit. He does. 1:33.4. Puts him 12th.
And Iconic Q as well. We missed the end of the lap there because I think he was right behind Dr. Dre. But Iconic Q up into 3rd. The incredibly quick Iconic Q. He hasn't had the greatest luck for someone of his pace and his ability. So maybe tonight could be the turning point for the Mercedes driver. But we'll have to find out. As 6.5 minutes left, to give you a quick rundown, we have the Gaming Wafer and Gaming Burger. They're 2 of our championship contenders. They're on the front row. Iconic Q and Banana Cake Pie. They are currently splitting chain game from our champion from his championship contender. So he's 5th. A Star is Born. He is in 6th. OSRO Lewis P7. Iceman in 8th. And then it's the Ferrari boys of Texas and Alcatraz rounding out the top 10.
Well, the thing is, too, if it's like you said before, Alcatraz said he wants pole. Well, he better back it up. All right, now he's in 10th, so he's got a little bit of he's got a lot of ground to at least get up to pole if he needs to, but he has to do it within the next 6 minutes.
I'm just gonna quick in by, if you take a look at Kuda and Dr. Dre 3000, it's only 1,000 separating them. Down in 13 and 14.
That is incredibly close right there. The smallest of margins possible without them having identical lap times. Now running aboard the Renault of Escona Matata. He is currently in 16th. Can he improve? Oh, he spins over the line, goes into the barrier, but he still improves by over a second. He's up into P12.
And Iceman, hit the outside there.
I just caught him.
Yeah, 18, I think.
I caught him like sideways there at the end of the corner.
It was out of turn 17. It went far out, touched the wall, and then spins over into the right wall there.
As Christopher moves up into P11, so just outside the top 10 now for the Williams driver. And there's 5 minutes left now, guys. And looking at the qualifying results, are there any surprise results right now? Is there someone who's maybe a little higher than what you expected, or is there someone who you think has room to improve?
Let's see. I think the one that really needs to improve a little bit more, in my opinion, is Curving Texas, because I know he could be a little bit. Oh, gaming. Excuse me to interrupt my little monologue there, but gaming away for 1 minute 31.0 in the Toro Rosso, up 4/10 from Gaming Burger now. Great time there from the Toro Rosso driver.
A healthy margin as well.
Exactly. What I was going to say is that Curving Texas, I know he could qualify somewhere in the top 5. I'm a little bit surprised to see him in 9th at the very moment, but I think he could qualify a little bit better than what he is right now. But as far as everything else, I don't think I see anything like, like different. I feel like everyone's
out of the ordinary, yeah.
Yeah, out of the ordinary. Well, you said Luis is the newest driver, right? Because I've actually never heard of this guy. Just FYI.
I can say that I commented him in Euroseries Tire 2, and because something I can remember is that maybe in qualifying sometime you may think, I'm not sure if he can win, but then suddenly in the race he just pops up and boom, he can be up there and top.
Well, we'll see if the boom is going to come into effect here at the Sochi Autodrome. As speaking of, not even speaking of him, but I'll start speaking of him. Gaming Burger, he's on a hot lap. We did mention before there is a 4/10 gap between him and Wafer, so we'll see if he can close that gap down. He's currently 2/10
up
on his previous lap time, so he's going to have to find a little bit more. That's all he needs on his current pace, just to try and get pole position. It will be one of the most important pole positions of the season. If he can get it, this will be his last attempt at a hot lap. He comes around the final corner. Is he going to do it? He doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
31-2. He actually lost a little bit of time there in Sector 3, and it has cost him. He's still second place, but he will not be able to get pole position today.
So now all eyes will also lie on Chain Game Wild, because he has plenty of time to do a hot lap as well. But he's only in 3rd, but he's 6/10 down. But I think he could maybe pull off something that could. Oh my goodness, a little bit of a mismatch there between him and Renault. But anyways, I think if Chain Game puts a good solid lap, he could maybe bump down the points. I think if I'm correct, Game Burgers right now is the current points there, correct? So this could be big in terms of starting position, at least for the start of the race.
To answer TNF Racing here, two other guys here, they raced in Tire 2 and I do not race in Race Week, I only commentate.
Alright, so a minute or so left now. One thing I've noticed, well, NBC Alcatraz, his lap got invalidated, but he did give the medium tyres a crack. So he's obviously tried to qualify those in the top 10. And just try to look for someone now. Iceman's currently on a lap, but I'll try to see if I can find someone who's a little bit later on in that lap. No. So right now at the minute, Iceman's going to be the next driver to set a lap in that racing point. Do you think 8th place is a place where we expected Iceman to be, or do you think he can improve a little bit more, guys?
Well, let's see, we got Alcatraz actually coming close to the line now, and he does not improve on his time at all, but he did it on the mediums. I don't know why he did that. Interesting there. But Chain Game is starting his hot lap now, so let's see what he can do. We'll follow with him a little bit later, though.
Iceman goes purple in Sector 2.
Alright, so let's follow on with Iceman in the final corners now of the final 4 corners of 15 and 16. Now he comes to the final turns of 17 and 18. Gotta clip those egg pisses really nice. Just don't go too much inside. There you go. On the outside, rubs the curves like I've said. Oh,
he invalidates!
He invalidated the last corner. Oh, that's so tough.
Would have been enough for P3.
Oh my, that's awful.
That's heartbreaking stuff.
Alright, so pretty much it looks like everyone's staying their hot laps, getting their hot laps started, I think. So...
Yeah, although Coda in the Alfa Romeo, he's about to finish his hot lap. He does improve. He improves to a 32.7, so that's 15 for the Alfa Romeo.
Chain Game, he went completely wide before the bridge. That cost him a lot of time. Now, this is not going to get him into pole at all.
I don't know if you saw it, but the gaming wafer was about to start a hot lap, but he got invalid in the first corners there.
Ooh.
So he's not going to improve.
But I think...
Oh, he's trying to come over the line.
Oh, nice
doesn't improve either.
Style points there from Chain Game. Wow, I'll say that.
Yeah. Iconic Q as well. He's been invalidated, so he's out for the rest of the session. A Star is Born also invalidated as Lewis. He's up by a few tenths. Comes over the line. P3.
Oh, so he bumps the guy that's actually supposed to be contending against Gaming Burger. Great job there.
Excellent work, and Banana Cake Pie as well. He's just entering the final sector right now. He is up slightly, so I think if he can keep this upwards momentum, he could move up into the top 5. If he can get this final sector done perfectly, it looks like maybe he slid out.
He slid out a little bit, but a good time nonetheless.
Young Lights up to 8.
Next is Banana Cake Pie across the line.
And Banana.
He improved slightly.
6, but he improved slightly, but not enough. And also, one thing we've missed here, Alcatraz has been disqualified.
He did, yeah, I was going to say, he did get disqualified, but for what?
He's chosen to start last, it seems. I'll check the race director, I'll try and get an update to see what he's done.
But I have, in the qualifying prediction, if just Chain Game Wow and Gaming Wafer had switched places, mine would be right.
He's blocked the pit lane.
Kuda's retired. So...
That's it. Qualifying's done.
Qualifying is officially done.
But I was right about Lewis, that P3?
Yeah, main racer.
Yeah. I think I had Gaming Burger in second, or I'm not sure, actually. No, that was probably Gaming Wafer I had. I'm not sure anymore, but still.
Well... You know what? I'm getting word now from Curving Texas that he actually set a 131.062 and he got invalidated for it. So Texas, he's starting 11th. He'll get the free tire choice, but we know that he has the pace to improve. As I'll quickly run you through the qualifying results right now. Sorry to cut you off there, but it's Wafer, Burger, Lewis, Chain Game, Iconic Q, Banana Cake Pie, Star is Born, Young Lights, Ferry, Iceman. That's the top 10. That's Curving Texas, Very Lazy Tower, the Stone Tower, Christopher, Dr. Dre, Kuda, the Schooner Matata, and then NBC Alcatraz will round out your field today.
Predictions then? About top 3?
Race predictions, well, I'll start because I have mine already. Honestly, it's gonna. Alright, so I'm gonna go Wafer for the win. I think he's gonna go back to back today. I think that second place, I'm gonna go with Chain Game and P3 because he's very, very strong around this track. Curving Texas. I'm gonna throw a wild card in there, just make it interesting.
Mm-hmm. I would have to go for Gaming Wafer. That was like Chain Game Wow and Burger.
Let's see. For me, I'm gonna go with Gaming Wafer winning this one again. Second, I'm gonna go with Burger, and then third, why not Banana Cake Pie?
Alright, a fun prediction. An NBC Alcatraz. He is just. I've just received word that Alcatraz today, his prediction for himself is to finish 5th. So, could we see an overtaking masterclass from the Ferrari driver? We'll have to find out. As our drivers now, they're beginning the formation lap, and I will give you a quick rundown again. Wafer leading, Burger P2, Lewis in 3rd, Chain Game in 4th. So all three of our drivers' championship contenders in the top 4. Then it's Iconic Q and Banana Cake Pie in 5th and 6th. A Star is Born in 7th, Young Lights in 8th, Ferry in 9th, and Iceman is in 10th. Curving Texas 11th, Very Lazy Towel 12th, Stone Towel 13th, Christopher 14th, Dr. Dre in 15th, Kuda in 16th, Schooner Matata in 17th, and because he was intentionally going slow to annoy Dr. Dre, NBC Alcatraz has been disqualified and he will start last.
Even though he was in the top 10 though during qualifying. But Yep, but since you start disqualified, yep, you have to start from the back. But nonetheless, the race will go on. Maybe we'll see what goes on. But we got 27 laps around this 3.6 mile circuit. Of course, around the famous Sochi Olympic Park. Of course, this was built back in 2014. Of course, for the 2014 Winter Olympics. That held right here for the opening and closing ceremonies, the ice hockey, figure skating, speed skate, and so on. Pretty much all this ice events in this area took place, and of course the iconic Fish Stadium, which like I mentioned, hosts the open and closing ceremonies, also hosted the World Cup games for the 2018 World Cup. So pretty much an iconic. It's also got some a little bit of history to it as well for a recent circuit. So I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think it's probably one of my favorite circuits out of a lot of others in these F1 calendar, in my opinion.
Yeah, this track has had its fair share of controversy in the past, whether it was Bottas and Raikkonen in 2015 or Danny Kvyat and Sebastian Vettel in 2016. The race that, looking back on it in retrospective, probably ruined Danny Kvyat's Formula One career. But as our 18 drivers are getting ready to line up here at the Sochi Autodrome, couldn't say it properly there, for the Russian Grand Prix, Wadaya Pariah, take us away.
Yes, we're waiting for the last drive to get back on the grid, and we're gonna wait for the 5 red lights for round 15 here, Global Series Tire 1. And there, we got the lights. We got 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. There's a bad camera angle, but it looks like a good start from Gaming Burger. Going to challenge Gaming away from it to turn 1 already, maybe. So, almost side by side now to turn 2. Yeah, it looks, Gaming Burger has got a good start. Can he do an overtake on? Oh, it's very
Three wide
I'll go with a big dive.
Wide.
What's Christopher doing? I have no idea what I have just seen. I was riding on board with Christopher and I saw him completely cut the first corner. Absolute mayhem. It seems like no one's really collided at the moment, but you know, with these boys this tier, you never know what's going to happen, eh?
Also, we saw Chen Genwao trying to challenge. We see a Williams go far out there, but of course, Chen Genwao, he tried to challenge the driver and almost.
Oh, there's a crash at the back. Sorry to cut you off there. It's Iceman and a Scooter Matata. I definitely did see some front wing come off there. I think it was off the Renault.
Yeah.
Oh, the Scooter Matata. Yeah, definitely.
And
I think,
also
yeah,
Iceman too. They both have wing
cars.
damage.
It's very unfortunate for those two there.
May I remind you also, Chen Genwao has lost 2 positions out of the first couple of corners as well. So now he's moved down into 5th place after that little skirmish in turn 1. Of course, in turn 1 we see, or actually turn 2, it's actually turn 2 because turn 1 is actually the little sweeper turn. But it's pretty much, we saw a lot of contact there, a little bit of a 4-wide action in the second row. So pretty much a lot of action already happened the first lap, but Gaming Waker leading the way for the first lap here in the Russian Grand Prix with Global Tier 1.
Yeah, now the winners and the losers off this opening lap. Curving Tex, oh no, I was going to say Curving, no. MBC Alcatraz is getting 6 positions on the opening lap. Yeah, I was going to say Banana Pie, he is your biggest loser of this opening lap here. He's lost 9 places at the moment, which is very unfortunate for him. As yeah, both Ferrari guys actually. Texas moving up 5 spots. Alcatraz moving up 6. As at the front though, it has stayed.
Here comes Towel on the inside of Curving Texas. Ooh, that was close there, but Curving Texas holds him off for now. But Towel still right behind him into turn. Looks like we're going to turn 7 now into turn 8. Turn 8 pretty much right behind. Stick on the back of the Ferrari for now, but it looks like Curving Texas is trying to hold his position, but right now DRS is not enabled. Remember, we will enable race control. Will enable DRS as soon as we get to the 3rd lap, as usual. Gaming Wafer leading the way, only 5/10 ahead of Gaming Burger, and then also RL Luis in 3rd as well. I think you said, like I said, I think you said he's reserved, but I think if it's his first, I think it's his first race. So far, a really good job for him so far in the Williams.
See that Iceman actually went on the hard tires.
Interesting call.
I don't. That's gonna kill his race. That's killing it.
I think it is that, of course, there are not so many drivers who actually know that the medium can go from lap 1 to the finish. And if I would have been this scenario without my friends testing and telling me, I would also be unsure, like, oh my god, do I go medium or hard? It could be a hard decision if you don't know.
Well, race control has now enabled DRS, and Gamingberg has activated his rear wing, but holds off for now, just trying to be patient. Right behind Gaming Wafer in the Rosa. Pretty much single file as we've gone through the first couple of corners.
It's a real close one for Embassy Alcatraz. He was going on the outside in third one on the Stone Towel. Stone Towel pushing it so out that they barely got in before the wall came back on out of track, or close to the track.
Alcatraz, though, I think we should talk about it in a minute because he's gained 7 positions in 2 laps. A very, very impressive start. So, you know, if he actually started in P11 like he originally was meant to qualify, who knows how well his race or how poorly his race could be doing now. Maybe starting last is the best thing for him. As Wafer and Berger now they're heading onto this second DRS straight, and could Berger be within striking distance on the Gaming Wafer to get a move done? I'm not sure if he will, but there's yellows at the back. It's Stone Towel.
It's Stone Towel, yeah, he's gone off.
He's not facing the right way.
In the DRS zone, and then Chris, a 3-second time penalty.
For 3 seconds, as I believe there's wing damage as well on that Renault. So a poor start to the Grand Prix for both the Renaults and the Racing Point team. As now going back to the front of the grid. Oh, Wafer, he looks up slightly there, so Berger's going to get a great run on him as he sets the fastest lap of the race so far. As now we're going to come over the DRS detection line, and Berger, he's going to get him. He's going to get him. Wafer holds the inside line. Berger, he uses one of his moves. They almost touch. They're going to go side by side. Berger has to take the escape road. He won't the escape road, he has to go wide, and he has to give the position back. So Wafer, with some aggressive defending, still holds the lead.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit aggressive there. He cut him off on the towards the outside. Gamingberger could have at least got him there, but Gamingberger just had to push. He just pushed him off. I mean, it's just pretty much 2 cars into one. Just in that one corner does not go, and it's pretty much cost him a little bit of time as well. But still back of him right now at this point.
Yet another driver in this battle for the lead that we can't discount, we can't count him out yet, is OSRL Lewis. He is still within the DRS range of Gamingberger. So if Wafer and Berger, if they keep fighting at the front, you know, Lewis could come in. You know, a bit of Stephen Bradbury-esque, just come in, sneak in, take advantage of those two tripping over each other, and swarm in, take the lead. Because unfortunately, we've seen what's happened in the past sometimes. With Wafer being at the front, sometimes he gets involved in incidents with other drivers. Hopefully, for his case though, that does not happen today, as we'd love to see our championship contenders battle it out at the front instead of in the middle. If it was Gamingberger already, that's big.
That's big, yeah. That's going to cost him a lot of positions if everyone does not get any penalties. But DRS is enabled now. It's a drag race now for another 400 meters. On the outside goes Gamingberger. Can he get the move done? He's wheel to wheel. Just push. Oh, great move there from Gamingberger. Gets ahead of him. What a move there. What a lunge.
Look at Gamingberger. He's trying to challenge him. He's really wants to challenge him on the outside. It's going to go for the dyno. He gets back by it. But it was looking like it was one to challenge Gamingberger into turn 5 there.
Yeah, he eyed up the move, he thought better of it, and you know what, there's still, you know, we're only on lap 5, you know, there's still 23 laps left after this. You don't want to be throwing all your eggs in the basket early on, as I can see further in the field, Young Lights and NBC Alcatraz absolutely duking out for P9, so while the cameras have been off him, Alcatraz has moved his way up into the points. Banana cake pie with 3-second time penalty. Contact with Young Lights and Alcatraz there.
No! He's gone! He's gone, and a virtual safety car has been deployed.
Now, I was on board with Alcatraz for that, and I'll give you my initial opinion. I think that the initial contact between Alcatraz and Young Lights, I think that was more on Alcatraz's end, and then his car just got sent. His car just got sent into that right side barrier. And I actually switched point of view, so I actually missed Alcatraz going into the wall, but I think the initial contact was probably Alcatraz's fault.
I probably would agree with you that he went too far aggressive into the corner. I think, and he kept making contact with his rear end.
And Dre has a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car.
Under virtual safety car.
That's a classic Alcatraz move there.
So we're breaking for Dr. Dre there. That is actually a glitch in the game that in Norwegian League we just found out. And that is that...
there's yellows! Don't cut you off, there's yellows! Texas is around! So Kirby Texas, he started looking so promising.
I didn't quite catch it, but I saw him like lose a lot of positions.
Yeah, I missed it as well. I'm also getting confirmation now that Alcatraz got absolutely sent into the wall by A Star Is Born. So I think maybe A Star Is Born, I obviously haven't seen his point of view, but maybe A Star Was Born just couldn't get out of the way in time, and unfortunately Alcatraz got corrected.
I mean, I was on board with him for a little bit, and then I went to the outside camera, but it looked like to me it was more Alcatraz's fault, in my opinion.
Then like I said, I actually had a very good camera angle of it from the sky behind them. And the first thing was that, of course, Young Lights and Alcatraz got first a little bit of contact. Then it looks like Young Lights was, I wouldn't say he was slowing down, but something was happening. So
Christopher Ferrick, another penalty, sorry to cut you there.
So Alcatraz goes a little bit into the back, and I think they both just started to get confused as A Star Is Born is trying to go on the outside or something. And I think it just looked like they all were a little bit confused, and it started with a small touch, and then with all those small touches in the back of one car, the side of one car, then suddenly it just all happened and they go into the wall.
Yeah, unfortunately one thing led to another, and unfortunately for Alcatraz,
gonna make a move on
his old chain game, the Flying Dutchman. He flies up into P4, so he's finally taken that position back from Iconic Q. He's about a second and a half behind Lewis, and if I was chain gaming Iconic, I would sort of try and, form a little bit of an alliance here. Try not to battle too much and try and, sort of slipstream each other and help each other catch back up to that top three as Very Lazy Tao gets a 3-second time penalty. I think that's his first one today, and knowing Tao, it's probably the first of many. As Berger, Wafer, and Lewis 8/10 separate our top three, a very close top three at the moment. And Stone Tao seeing fast lap for Renault on the soft compound tyre. Now, the medium tyres can last a fairly long time around here, and we could say that the pit window maybe is open now already. So do you think?
Sorry to interrupt. We got a little action here to the bridge. 3 wide. What a move there by Gaming Wafer. Lewis gets ahead of Gaming Burger. What a great move there. Pretty much Gaming Burger just lost 2 positions out of that second DRS straight, and now Gaming Wafer's back in the lead of the Russian Grand Prix.
What happened with Gaming Burger? It looks like he almost slowed down and just went out on the side.
Oh, he's pitting.
He's going to go for the undercut.
He's going for the undercut.
But something I didn't finish earlier was about the drive-through to Dr. Dre. That could be the glitch in the game, because he sometimes he's the host of the lobby salt every time. And when it's a virtual safety car, or when it's about to end, if you aren't the host, you can just get right on a throttle and get delta in plus, and it won't give you anything. But if the hosts do it, the game will actually give you a drive-through penalty. It's a glitch in the game, because if the hosts do it, then we'll get a drive-through, but the other drivers won't get it. So I think that could be the situation there.
So I can't do a 3-second time penalty. What's whoa! I just saw
what's happening at the front.
Not the front, but the middle. I saw Ferry go. I thought he was going to clip the outside wall. At my camera angle, I was at the far camera angle focusing on Tao. Ferry was like far back, but he looked like he was going to hit that wall at turn 6, but he did not, thankfully. But that was very close. But anyway, also I was going to mention, Iconic Q just got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as well. So I think that might be his first.
And knowing Iconic Q, it's probably the first of many for him, unfortunately. As Gaming Burger, he did rejoin in P10, and he has a very nice bit of track to himself. So for Gaming Burger, he could use his opportunity to push and try and get his undercut to work. Obviously, Wafer and Lewis will have the DRS benefits, But we'll see if they react this lap, and they both do. They're both pitting right now. So does Chain Game, and so does Iconic Q. So with that being said, Very Lazy Tao, who's just missed his braking point completely at the penultimate corner, Very Lazy Tao will take the lead of the Russian Grand Prix.
Chain Game's in the pits
Very in second place.
Now
we're gonna go over to Gaming Burger to see where he will come out of them to, if he will undercut them.
Medium tires come on and pretty much gets ahead of Lewis, and now let's see where Gaming Burger is. He's coming down the front stretch now. Will he get the undercut to work? And he does get it to work. Just get it to work, just slightly. Yes, he does. Gaming Burger is now in the penultimate lead of the Russian Grand Prix.
Yeah, as also while this is all happening as well, Iceman had an incident in the second sector, so it's not his greatest outing here tonight. Tao again with another penalty. I told you, man. I told you it was going to happen.
I swear, he's so trademarked for it.
Young Lights is also not so lucky because I just saw witnessed him going into pit without a front wing.
Oh yeah, they have to change that. So one McLaren is dicing it out in the provisional lead. The other one in the pit lane changing their front wing. So mixed fortunes there at the McLaren team. And I wonder if A Star Is Born, Ferry and Very Lazy Tao, one of those three drivers, will pit this lap to react to everybody else making the change around them. As I think we have to go back and watch this battle really between Wafer and Burger, because this has big championship implications. As Wafer, he's a little bit too far behind at the moment to size and move up. But, you know, Wafer, if he just sits there and, just keeps composed, he can just use DRS to fly back past him in a few laps' time.
And of course, you know, the DRS is pretty powerful though, but the thing is that I've noticed a little bit, but the thing is I've noticed throughout this entire race, Gaming Burger does know how to save ERS a lot. I would say a little bit better than Gaming Burger. Gaming Burger has far less ERS than he does, even though, yeah, Gaming Burger is trying to attack him right now, but he does seem to manage it very, very well. As pretty much Chain Game is, I think if I remember correctly, did he hit? I don't remember. Oh, no, he pitted lap before, so he's in fifth. I was just trying to make sure. But, yeah, I think pretty much if Game Wiper can pretty much maintain the pace and not burn too much, he does seem like he can actually maybe get to Game Burger, but we'll see what goes on.
Yeah, and as you said, Game Wafer just at the moment showing to be a little bit better on his ERS management, and that on the F1 2019 game is a very important aspect. On F1 2020, that will no longer be a factor. So the ERS strategical aspects for Season 3 of Race Spec, they will not be there anymore, but they will be intact tonight as Yellow's in the opening sector. It's a Williams.
It's Chris. He went into the wall.
He's already got wing damage. It looks like he might have just come out the pit. So
he has damage on his right side of his front wing. So maybe that's probably what happened.
That's unfortunate, as now the Haas of Ferry has come into the pits, so he's the last of the drivers to make the switch over to the mediums as OSR Lewis with a 3-second time penalty. As I saw before that Berger almost pulled that gap out to a second, but it has reduced as Wafer sets the fastest lap of the race. So he is definitely determined to close the gap and re-overtake Berger. Although I think at the moment Berger has a penalty and Wafer does not.
No, that is correct. Wafer does not have a penalty at all. So pretty much, if we could say right now, as far as the standings for this race goes, Wafer would be your race winner of the Grand Prix. But unless he makes a mistake himself, get a penalty, then it's game on for pretty much the rest of the front runners.
Yeah, and I think if Wafer wins today and he takes away the championship lead, I think it'll be the first time all season that Wafer's actually led the championship. So he's been consistently quick, but he hasn't really been rewarded with the championship lead. And in 17 laps time, he could be rewarded with the championship lead. You never know. As one thing I've noticed as well is OSR Lewis, he was right behind these guys at the pit window, and now he's not there as yellow. It's Christopher.
Yeah.
he's given up. So in the virtual safety car, he's out.
Something else I just wanna break it with. I was taking a look, and I think this is Lewis. I got this in mind. I feel I've seen him here before, but in the driver's ranks and race results, we can't see his name even as a even as a reserve. So if this is his first race here, it's a really good race. He got P3 in qualifying, and he's currently P3 now. So he's having a good race here.
Yeah, the top 5 drivers in qualifying, they're all still in the top 5. Only Wafer and Berger changing positions there as Christopher leaves the session. An unfortunate afternoon for the Williams driver as the green flags are back out, so racing will resume as per normal. And do you see anyone being able to contend Berger and Wafer at the moment, or do you think it's just going to be a straight dogfight between those two for the win today?
Tal gets another penalty, 9 seconds to him. Pretty much. I think from the way it looks, it could just be just battle between Berger and Wafer, because Lewis has lost a ton of pace. 2.7 seconds is the gap between him and Wafer. So he might have to try to battle it out with Chain Game, because Chain Game has closed it a little slightly. 1.9 seconds separates between him and Lewis. So it could be a fight for at least the podium. But also, may I remind you, Chain Game does not have penalties either, like Gaming Wafer. But quick note to that too, when I also looked at the race director earlier, Gaming Wafer has 2 warnings. So if one more corner cut, Gaming Wafer could get himself a 3-second time penalty. And like I said before, it will be game on.
Yeah, and adding on as well to the warnings count there, Chain Game only has the 1. And if you're Chain Game, you want to try and push up to get P3, because in Chain Game's mind, you know, his championship rivals are in 1st and 2nd, so he's already going to lose points regardless of where he finishes. So he wants to, so you know, if you're him, you want to try and finish 3rd, so then you can sort of limit the amount of points that you do lose to your rivals, because the more points you lose, obviously the further behind you fall in the championship. And with only 5 races left, including tonight's race, every point for these 3 drivers is extremely valuable.
Meanwhile, we got the Alfa Romeos battling out for 9th place. Oh, well, Chain Game right there. A 3-second time penalty for him for multiple warnings. So now Game Waver is the only one left with no penalties. But I'm also focusing right now for the moment on the Alpha battle right here for the into turn 2. Little bit
Huda trying to stick it with him.
Huda like sticking with him, wheel to wheel through turn 4, the sweeping part of the front part of the Olympic Park. Tries to cut him off at least as A-Star. He does hold him up at least for now. Holds the position, but maybe these Alphas are starting to look a little bit dicey as we get into the latter parts of the race.
And courteous time penalty there.
Time penalty for multiple warnings. I think he extended the track limits from the way it looked. I cut off the camera there off of him for a minute, but I think that's what happened.
Yeah, and just that's really that plus the battle for the lead. It's the only real bit of close on-track action as it's going to get at the moment. Oh, and Texas and Ferry as well, I've just noticed. But that's one thing with the Sochi, isn't it? It's either you get a really good race or you get a lot of nothing. At the moment, we're not really getting much, are we, as Iconic Q with another time penalty? But yeah, we're not really getting a whole lot to work with. And for Global Tier 1, that's just odd, isn't it? Can't even find the words to describe how odd this is for us not to have a very eventful race to call tonight.
I mean, pretty much the eventful races I'd say I've called so far is the Canada and USA race.
Oh,
my goodness,
Canada, one of the best races of the season. But you know what? Very Lady Tao, another 3-second time penalties. Ferry and Texas, they are dicing it out for 7th.
And Ferry gets ahead of Curving Texas there, moves himself up to 7th after gaining the DRS in the front stretch. So
yeah, you know what? Oh, you go. Sorry, cut you off.
So yeah, anyways, like I said, Tao now 12 seconds of penalties against him. Pretty much trademarked as well, if you want to call it that. For him getting penalties.
The trademark, it's just a signature move, and you know what? Speaking of signature moves, I think after that Young Lights Alcatraz, A Star Is Born incident, I think Alcatraz is going to do his signature move of sending someone to the steward's room in Global Tier 1, because I think that there is a very unhappy NBC Alcatraz, and I cannot wait to deal with that in pro clubs later tonight. But now back to the racing action. Back to the racing action now. As we're talking about races of the season, and we're still, we're at the halfway point of this race. We could see a safety car could throw everything we know about this race out the window. As Dr. Dre getting a 3-second time penalty. Unfortunately for him, he's down in 14th. Unfortunately for Dre, I'll talk about him a little bit now. But unfortunately for Dre, his championship results have really dropped off. As he was in contention for race wins. It started at 15 seconds for Tao.
Yep, 15
keep
seconds.
on counting, Racer. Keep on counting. That's all I have to say to you, my friend.
Pretty much.
Keep on counting. But yeah, Dre's pace throughout the season really has dropped off, and I think that might be a combination of maybe him losing a little bit of interest, or maybe just the quality of the field getting better as the season progresses. As there's not a lot really happening right now, is there, guys?
Of course, Gaming Info is just sticking on the back of Gaming Burger here. And it's just we can't see so much fight because current text is right on the back of Ferry.
Yeah, that's all we really have to focus on. Also, those two Alfa Romeos, they're still fairly close to one another. The Alfa Romeo team, when it comes to teammate battles, has been a little bit controversial. As if you remember back to Actually, I don't think you guys... No, you guys didn't call Monaco with me. But back in Monaco, Strauss and Toes Rudy. Pretty much Strauss let Rudy through, and then later on in the race, Rudy didn't repay the favour. It caused a little bit of controversy down in the Alfa Romeo garage. So teammates haven't been the friendliest towards each other in the Alfa Romeo crew. As screw it. Do you guys want to do the podcast right now while we'll have the race going on in the background?
I guess we could for a little bit.
We'll do the podcast and we'll have the lead battle in the background. Well, and if something happens, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, we might have to cut that a little bit short as Gaming went for making moves already.
Flies past him.
Flies past Gaming Burger into the lead of the Grand Prix for the third time. And in lap 16 now. So yeah, well, and Lewis, 6 seconds of penalties now, as he gets another penalty for multiple warnings. But might as well get the podcast going there a little bit, mini podcast.
We'll get the podcast going, so we'll start off with one of the big topics. Recently Formula One announced the return plan. 8 races planned over I believe it was a 2-month period. What are your thoughts on the 8 races that we have planned out so far, and also what are your thoughts on the back-to-back races in Austria and in the UK?
Well, let me think.
18 seconds for Tao. Sorry to cut you off.
18 seconds. Okay.
As it's yellows, all is yellows. It is Tao. His car's facing the wrong way, and that is not the way you want your car to be facing.
And even worse, he's lost carbon fiber and a front wing, so I think his race is pretty much over. The way it looks.
He's been disqualified.
He's disqualified from facing the
You know what?
way.
Speaking of unhappy people, that's going to be another unhappy player in our pro club's locker room after this race. Seems like at the moment, if you're a part of the pro club that I'm involved in, it seems like your race is turning to shit. So, Curving Texas and Dr. Dre, you might want to be careful. Otherwise, you might something bad might happen. Anyway,
Gaming away for now.
Lead battle.
Fourth for first. Gaming Burger gets on the outside. Now he gets the lead back. So this is the third time as well that he gets the lead. But back to the calendar, like you were mentioning. All right, so yeah, like you said, we have 2 back-to-back races for Austria and Great Britain. Austria will be the first of it for the first 2 rounds, and then will be Hungary and then Britain for 4 and 5 rounds. For the 4th and 5th round, and then Spain, Belgium, and Italy. Pretty much, yeah. Like I said, I think it's a pretty interesting thought of it. The thing is, I've heard rumors that they might do a reverse grid for the second the second race that they're going to do, like the back-to-back race. So I think that it would be really interesting if it does happen. I would be really interested to see how it all plays out, but. Like the original plan I know was going to be Europe, if I remember also correctly, Europe and a little bit of Europe as well, and followed by America, then Asia, and then the Middle East. So we could have a potential to see Vietnam, even though that's one of the 2 new circuits that was supposed to be featured in this year's calendar, but one of them is canceled. That would be Zandvoort, of course, because of complications, obviously with coronavirus and all that. But the Vietnam Grand Prix, if it happens this year, I would be very interested to see how it goes, because that looks fantastic too, especially when it looks at the game as well. Definitely interested to see.
Break away from something quick. Take a look at Gaming My First outside the second gaming right now. I think he made a mistake in the last sector maybe, or it's just taking it calm. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's fallen out of DRS, which is tragic for his attempt of trying to keep up. But Wafer, it says he has 3 warnings here but no penalties, so maybe. Yep, I'm looking now. Yep, he did. One of his warnings was for an incident on the opening lap.
Scooter Matata has spun at turn 14. I don't know how exactly he did that. He does not look like he has damage on my end, so unfortunate. But back to what you guys were saying. Sorry if I cut you off.
Anyway, Gaming Burger, he still has the 3-second time penalty. Gaming Wafer is currently 1 warning away from getting a 3-second time penalty. So even if Wafer stays 1.2 seconds behind like he is now, Wafer will still win the race, and it will be interesting to see if Wafer can fight back and catch Burger again, or is this the break that Burger needed to try and push away, because he needs to build that 3-second gap at the moment, because he has that extra 3 seconds worth of time penalties. And Ferry and Curving Texas, it's a battle that it's been mentioned a little bit, but it's been overshadowed by the lead battle. These guys have been going at it all day, as Very Lady Cow has called it a night now. He's definitely left station as Dr. Dre and Young Lights getting time penalties. Ferry in the half is going to be lining up Curving Texas, activates the DRS, and will be able to get past. Texas sort of right now holding the outside line, yet to use his 1 defensive move. Ferry's going to go for it. No, he backs out.
He backs out. He's smart and holds off on that.
I was about to ask if you guys thought that Game of had a technical problem. He's now set his ERS to 0, but he drove a whole lap with ERS in overtake. A whole lap.
So yeah, that pretty much.
I was starting to wondering, but now he's back to 0. But I was thinking, could he maybe have a technical problem or something?
I think it's.
I think they're just both trying to push as hard as they can.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's just them pushing too hard, and that's what really cost them most of the time as well. But I'm wondering if he's aware of the penalty with Gaming Burger. That's my only question to him, is that, do you know that he has a penalty? Did your race engineer inform you of that? Because he doesn't have to put.
Gaming Burger got 2 penalties. No, wait.
He has 1 penalty. He has 1 penalty.
1 penalty.
Yeah, 3-second time penalty. So pretty much, if he wants to, he could just coast and sit behind him, at least for now. But yeah, that's pretty much the situation. But now we're gonna go back to Ferry and Curving Texas, who's been battling out since their first pit stop. Ferry right on the back of Curving Texas. But I think Curving Texas got a better exit. But look at Ferry's ERS though. He's got a lot of ERS compared to Curving Texas. Down the front stretch, let's see what he does here. He's up the slipstream, but does he think about going for the move? No, he just stays smart yet again. Stays behind him.
It'll be interesting to see when Ferry will decide to go for the move. He has a lot more DRS in the tank. He has a lot more ERS available to him to utilise than Curving Texas. I think it could be he just got a 3-second time penalty.
Ferry has a 3-second time penalty.
I think it could be more of a when instead of an if on him trying to get past as Young Light. Is that another time penalty in like the span of 5 seconds, or was that for somebody else?
No, that's Ferry.
Honestly,
not Ferry. It was Young Lights. 3 seconds.
Yeah, as this is really the only battle we're seeing on track at the moment, and just weighing in again on Wafer and Burger, just that situation real quick. I think that Wafer has to push, because my guess is he's aware of the penalty that Burger has, but if he falls 3 seconds behind, then Burger still wins as Stone Towel calls it a day. He has pulled car into the pits, he is out of the Grand Prix.
Right, now the gap is 1.7 seconds. But the thing is, though, you might have to push just slightly. But Wafer, just his ERS is just absolutely drained. 5% so far. If you think about it, that's mostly, well, and also I think he might be going over his field target as well, because I noticed on the field indicator that he's on the yellow, so he might be way over target, at least a tiny bit. So he has to conserve probably into lean fuel mode as well, which means he's not going to have much power as well on that point of view as well.
He's just fallen 2 seconds behind as well. I'm on board with Young Lights and Dr. Dre. They almost make contact there. Dre goes to defend the inside. Young Lights had to break and back out of it. Otherwise, there was going to be some contact. And, you know, Racer, you're a bit familiar with incidents at that particular corner where someone comes up from behind the DRS and doesn't slow down in time. That's another story for another day. It does not belong on this stream.
No.
Berger, he's now built a 2-second lead.
That's a whole different story. That'll be discussed later on.
It's a whole different story, whole different stream. Watch the Tier 2 race if you don't know what we're on about.
Anyways.
And there are still some battles going on. The Red Bull versus McLaren for 11th, and there's Texas and Ferry for 6th. I think Ferry's finally going to go for the move, guys. Finally. He's bided his time. He sat behind him.
Oh, contact! Oh,
huge contact. And Texas is driving off. Is Texas driving off? Yeah, he's driving off. So obviously, he believes he's not at fault. I think
he's missing.
I didn't have the greatest on board, but all I know is Texas was trying to hold around the outside. I think Ferry might have cut him off there. I didn't fully get to see the extent of it.
It looked similar to what happened between him and Young Lights back in Canada. I would say that was a racing incident.
Yeah, and I do remember that incident actually.
While you guys were watching that, I also listened that Dr. Dre and Young Lights had an incident. Dr. Dre spun around.
So
I just want to point out right now that, you know how I said before how the people in my pro club haven't had the greatest races, and then I warned Texas and Dr. Dre? I think I've jinxed them, lads, because Texas had an incident, Dre's had an incident in the span of about 5 seconds between one another. So I think I might have accidentally jinxed some people here. So I might have to go apologise to them afterwards.
You put the commentator's curse. How dare you, PK?
I put an unnecessary commentator's curse on those lads. might have to play centre half bench in FIFA tonight. You never know. As Berger and Wafer at the moment, they're actually very close to breaking the 3-second mark, which means that Berger could actually just drive off and win the Grand Prix, which would be big for his championship aspirations. Gaming Berger, as we know, has won more races than anyone so far this season, flying McLaren driver there, and the gap's at 2.8. So Wafer, he really has to go as close. He really has to
time penalty, so 6 seconds against him now.
Oh, that is not good, as Wafer's he's just fallen out of that 3-second threshold. So at the moment, even with time penalties applied, Gaming Berger now is officially your provisional race leader. It is no longer Gaming Wafer, so I believe Wafer would definitely be aware of this, and he has to push. He has to push as hard as he can now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Both of them barely have any ERS2s also.
Well, the thing is, too, is that, like I've said, is that Wafer he pushed a little bit too much. He has to conserve fuel, and he has to try. And I don't think he's learning from what I'm saying, because he's still stuck on 4, which is something he needs to not do. He needs to conserve energy if he wants to try to at least push to at least close the gap to less than 3 seconds. 3.1 seconds is the gap so far, but I don't think he's learning from that mistake at all right now.
Yeah, and you know, it could be the arrow that shoots him in the foot when it comes to this Russian Grand Prix. He was in the hot seat to win back-to-back races, but unfortunately he let Berger get out of his DRS range, and Berger's taken that opportunity and he has absolutely run with it. And you know, as Berger now, he begins lap 24, 4 laps to go. Who is your driver of the day? Bri, I'll start with you.
I actually have to go for Lewis, since this is his first race here, and he has done an amazing race. Qualified P3, still on P3. So for me, it's Lewis having a good debut here.
Racer?
You know, I probably would have to agree with you on that. I mean, Lewis, with his debut race, starting off in third and actually staying in third, I gotta say that's really impressive for a debut. So I think my driver of the day will be OSRL Luis. BK, you?
My driver of the day is Gaming Burger. He started second. He had a decent little battle with Wafer there in the middle stint of the race, and from there he's just done Gaming Burger things and just pulled out a decent lead. You know, just doing typical Gaming Burger things, and at this rate he's gonna win another Grand Prix. So Gaming Burger 36 is my driver of the day. And to our audience watching, let us know on the live stream. Let us know in the comments. Who is your driver of the day?
And meanwhile, I'm actually want to take a look at these comments that we've gotten that I haven't looked at just yet. 10 F1 Racing said, I think Ericsson. I think Ericsson hit us. If you remember, that was the quote from Roman Grosjean's engineer from Baku in 2018 when he crashed under a safety car. Robert J. Jameson, Burger to win. Well, currently your fan Game Burger is leading the way, 3.6 seconds. ACW, who has been the dominant driver through the Global Tier 2, says Wafer to win. That does not look like that's going to happen. And plus, you know, also ACW also drives the Toro Rosso as well, so of course he wants
Could be the Toro Rosso crew sort of trying to stick together there, you know, just
the Toro Rosso,
one another.
Exactly, the Toro Rosso clan. So not looking good for the Toro Rosso clan for at least that part, but at least ACW got his, another win, of course, in Russia today.
And one thing as well about the Toro Rosso team, this is actually their last season in any type of race spec competition, as the Toro Rosso team will be rebranded to Alpha Tauri for Season 3 across all race spec F1 Esports tiers. And if you are interested in participating in whether it's a global series or any regional series, whether it's a Pacific series, Europe, America series, or if you're interested in racing the F2 cars or maybe even the classic cars, join up to RaceSpec F1 Esports. The necessary links should be in the description if that's correct. I believe they should be. Sign up.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Sign up to RaceSpec if you are not already, and you can be involved in racing just like the racing you have witnessed tonight. And if you enjoyed what you saw tonight and you want to see how we got here, go to the Global Series Tier 1 playlist on the YouTube channel and watch some of the incredible races that these drivers have put together over the last 4 months.
Yeah, exactly, and also don't forget to also like any videos that we've had from any previous race spec F1 Esports like series from Pacific, Euro, and American series, and so on, like BK mentioned. Like and also subscribe to. Right now we have 652 subscribers, so really big milestone I would say so far for Race Spec F1 Esports YouTube channel, of course. And also don't forget to follow them on Instagram, Twitter, and also like their Facebook page as well at RaceSpec F1 Esports. Just gonna give a lot of support as well. It's been, I probably would say, probably a league that I've seen that has grown a lot so far.
Yeah, and to any drivers who are looking for a new league to race in, I think all three of us can agree where RaceSpec, fairly fun racing and also an excellent community. One of the best communities I have seen in my 6 years of being a league racer. So if you are interested in joining RaceSpec F1 Esports, the sign up and all of our social medias are in the description. I have checked and they are there. So what are you guys waiting for? If there are any people who aren't involved in RaceSpec, get involved for the new season on the F1 2020 game next month. Can't believe it's a month already, guys.
I know. I can't wait for it to myself as well. Final lap. Going to be starting now. Gaming Burger leads the final lap of the Russian Grand Prix.
Yes, final lap, and Wafer, Gaming Wafer, even though it says here he's 3.4 seconds behind, it's really only 4 tenths, now 5 tenths. So, this is going to be one of the biggest laps of Wafer's season. This lap right here.
Oh, there. There's your confirmation there who will win the race.
Unless there is a catastrophic driver error, like what happened to Berger back at the Belgian Grand Prix, he should win this race. Maybe I should have waited a minute or so to say that one, because he still has a fair bit of lap to go. As actually, Chain Game has caught up to Lewis, and he will have DRS on him in his final lap.
Gaming Burger barely have any fuel left. The worst thing that can happen for him now is low fuel mode.
Yeah, same with Wafer, to be honest, and same with Chain Game has another penalty.
9
but
seconds.
Which one of these drivers? Will it be the Red Bull? Will it be the Williams? As now coming to the final DRS straight, the last probably legitimate overtaking place left on this circuit. Chain Game is going to push with everything that Red Bull can give him. I think he's too far back though, and nah, he can't get him. He can't get him. So, yeah, coming across now. Penultimate corner, Gaming Burger 36. I've lost count of how many races this man has won this season. But once again, Gaming Burger 36 wins. This time in Russia as Gaming Wafer crosses the line in second. Lewis and Chain Game, they're both very close. Lewis going to cross the line in third. And he keeps it. He keeps it. Chain Game in fourth. So that is big when it comes to the championship. Iconic Q now. He is going to cross the line in P5. A bit of a lonely fifth place for him. Not much mention. Oh, he spun it.
I'll give you 10 out of 10
you know
of that.
What? We'll see if the style points tick in there. We'll see if he gets any style points.
I'll give him 10 out of 10 for that.
10 out of 10. I also give him a 10 out of 10. There we go. There we go, Iconic. There's something for your race weekend as Ferry crosses the line in position 6. A star is born, currently 7th, and he stays in 7th. Curving Texas, he will cross the line in 8th. A decent recovery after that incident earlier with the Haas driver as Banana Cake Pie. Unfortunately, not much mention of him either. He just slipped down the field, and it's going to be P9 for him this afternoon. Kuda will be running out your top 10 for Alfa Romeo. As Young Lights in P11, once again, sort of caught up in all the incidents. You hate to see it. You want to see clean and exciting racing, but it's going to be P11 and Oscura Matata, the last driver on the lead lap, crosses the line in P12. And guys, that's it for the Russian Grand Prix. And Gaming Burger, I don't know if he was in the championship before this, but he's definitely in the lead of the Drivers' Championship now.
Yeah, well, I'm just getting the invites for him ready so we can take the interview.
I mean, pretty much, yeah, I think Gaming Burger maintains his points lead from the way it looks, because I think he got it after the last race, if I'm correct, which was in Singapore. I think he won that race, if I'm correct. I think it was either him or Game Wafer, I'm trying to remember, but, yeah, Gaming Burger is your race winner of the Russian Grand Prix. So, we'll get the interviews all lined up and ready for you, but we'll run through the order one more time. Gaming Burger is your race winner. Game Wafer in second. Luis in third on his debut. Chain Game Wow in fourth, and Iconic Q in fifth. Ferry in sixth. A Star is Born in seventh, and Curving Texas in eighth. Banana Cake Pie in ninth. Kuda in 10th. Aeon Lights in 11th. Skuna Batata in 12th. Iceman in 13th, Dr. Dre in 14th, Stone Tell in 15th, Christopher in 16th, NBC Alcatraz in 17th, and Very Lazy Tell in 18th also got disqualified.
So guys, it's been an interesting race, and you know, championship implications. Championship fight, it will continue. And it has gotten slightly more interesting, and I think it's one of the first times this season where our Championship 3 haven't got mixed up with one another, but we'll try to get your podium runners into the commentary box for some podium interviews, so stay tuned everyone.
as I will get the showroom up and running for all of you as well. Get the McLaren car up to the showroom.
Gaming wafer is soon coming too.
Alright, sounds good.
Yeah, it was an awesome race. Of course, I think it's said a few laps before then. Lewis drove there for me after his, I think it was his debut here. I can't remember seeing him driving here before this.
Alright, well, we have our race winner here, so I'll start off the interviews. And then if Wafer and Lewis do arrive in the part... Yep, Lewis has a broken microphone, so unfortunately we won't hear from him tonight. So if Wafer does get in here, we will hear from him. But Gaming Burger, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Alright, Burger, congratulations on the win today. That does put you now definitely into the lead of Drivers' Championship. We didn't actually know who was where heading into this one. But run us through your race.
Qualifying was a weird one. Because I've been setting 1 minute 30 to practice, and then I come to qualifying, so obviously pressure. I come to qualifying and can't even set a lap. So I was actually surprised I got a 31.2 that lap. Come race, it was a weird start, really weird start. If you guys didn't see it, I was like glitched into, I think it was Chain Game and Lewis. And then throughout the race, I was just, I got behind Wafer and just tried to look for his weak points, and I found it straight away. And it was the fact that he didn't have that much downforce. So I pushed out of that and got it.
Yeah, and also, like I said, I honestly have no clue if you were leading the Drivers' Championship heading into this race, but you definitely are heading out of this race. And looking at the remaining 4 races that we have left, are you confident that you can hold this Drivers' Championship lead?
Japan, I'm not a fan of it, but I guess I'm just going to have to practice for that. France, that's another track that I have to practice. But yeah, I hope it all stays how it is and just like even. So it's a big battle for the finale at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, it was one of the first times today as well where we got to see our championship contenders not have an absolutely poor race. So we actually got to see some on-track action between you and Wafer. So I think, I question, this is towards you as well, Wafer. How good did it feel to finally get some on-track action with a championship rival?
Amazing.
Alright,
Not sure about Chain Game and Wafer, but like that felt like a proper race compared to all the other ones. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much we saw, I think, a race where, like, even the front runners do not even get involved in too many incidents. So, I probably would say pretty much satisfaction for you, at least, on your part there, Gaming Burger.
No safety car is what made me happy throughout that race.
I can't blame you there. The safety car would definitely kill your momentum if you are definitely in the front. But great race win for you, and congratulations. Now let's move on. Yeah, definitely. Now let's move on to the guy who actually finished in second place, Gaming Wafer. So, you had a pretty good battle with Gaming Burger for a little bit. You had the lead 3 times, I counted, throughout the race, but it was 3 times out of that time that you pretty much stood in second place at the end. But walk us through your race.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations to Burger once again on another victory. I was running 3-6 wings and I felt quite good around the track, and going into turn 1, I was second or something, and then just got past him again, back into the lead. Then he undercut me, which we come out side by side. I absolutely worked flat out on that, and then he just had the pace in sector 1 somehow, and pulled away. Like, literally pulling 3/10 on me every time in the first sector. It was ridiculous. And then finished P2, and I mean, that's okay, but for what my pace was in practice, I think I should have got a win if I put my head down a bit more.
So
yeah, wait. Oh, you go, Racer.
It's all good. Yeah, I'll let you get to your question afterwards. But I was gonna just mention you were. I noticed in the last part of the race you were running on overtake for most of the. I think the second half of the race. Were you aware that you were on low ERS?
Yeah, I was never going down to 0%, so I just left it.
Okay. And BK,
Is it
follow
my
up with your
turn?
question. Yeah,
Alright.
Go ahead.
All right, so Wafer, I think in a few people's eyes, that sort of comes across this way on what sort of like in the stream as well. In my eyes, list, I've painted you off as a little bit of an underdog. You know, just the race wins aren't like there's not as many race wins as the other guys, and you know sometimes it's more just consistency that sort of keeps you around. Like I asked Burger. Looking at the last 4 races we have on the calendar, how confident are you that you can become Drivers' Champion in 4 weeks' time?
Hold on, let me have a look at the last 4 races.
It's France, Mexico, Japan, and then Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say too much. They look like pretty good rounds. That's it.
That's all.
Yeah.
For the first time in your life, you don't have much to say about your own driving ability. But anyway, congratulations, Wade.
I don't want to give him a psychological advantage.
Smart thinking there. Pride, do you have any questions for the 2 drivers we have in here tonight?
I'm not sure. Just gaming rifle. As also one of you guys said, the last laps when, or the almost last 10 laps when we were in overtake. Like, how did you manage to just have it in overtake? Because I'm a guy that I'm afraid to use too much ERS. So I was like, oh my god, like, did you knew that you're using all that ERS?
Well, I made sure I had enough for the straights, and then, like, the first time I did it, I was like, it didn't go down to 0. Did the next lap, didn't. And I was like, if I put it down, it doesn't matter, he'll still pull away, so if I turned it down, I would have just been further behind, so there wasn't much I could have done.
Sort of just a last resort kind of thing, you know, just trying to hold on as much as you can.
And to Gaming Burger, when you enter the last lap, you have 3-second time penalty, but Gaming Wafer hadn't gotten this yet, and you were about 3.5 seconds in front of him. What were you thinking at that moment?
Just pushing that first sector, because that's where I was getting him. Just like I was 3/10 in that first sector. The straights, I was trying to save up for the straights as well. So I was pushing in the first sector mainly, and then on the straights, just to keep extending that lead and get that over the 3-second mark to take it away.
And to both of you, the last question. Next week we're going to Paul Ricard. What do you think about that track? Do you feel safe for that track, and you have good thoughts about it, or what?
Oh, the straights are going to be weird. It's going to be. I reckon this is going to be a very, very close race, considering the straights. Hopefully no safety car. There's not really walls for anyone to hit, so hopefully no safety car.
That was my questions. Gaming for as well. Answer.
It's going to be very similar to this race. It's pretty identical. Long straights, track extendable corners. It's the same thing. So it should be pretty close again.
Yeah, well anyway, congratulations to you both. Burger, your race winner, Gameway for P2. Hopefully next week or sometime throughout this season we can have you two plus Chain Game in one of these podium interviews, but, you know, we can only dream here in the commentary box. But that is it from us tonight. Boys, any parting comments?
Pretty much...
For George.
I noticed your driver there. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely good support there for George Floyd. Stand up for racism, obviously. But anyway, fast forward to now. I think we're looking to see a pretty tight finish between you guys. Gaming Wafer, Gaming Burger, and Chain Game Wow. I can't wait to see what we have in store for the last few races of the season. But I think it's going to be a tight one. From the way it looks.
Alright, so with that being said, that is all for tonight. I am BKXI, and alongside me has been Racer, has been Pariah, and until next time, we'll see you later.
Take care. Have a great day.